we are trying to understand the keys of David's impact. How did a normal guy who lived like an orphan, who was born into disadvantages, how did a guy who didn't go through formal education, how did a guy who was suppressed by a mentor, how did a guy who was hated by his earthly mentor, how did a guy who was surrounded by enemies gain prominence and eminence? How did he do it? Ma, listen to me. You do not need to know how I dress. You need to know the covenants that back my life. You don't need to know the amount of money a billionaire has. You need to know the secrets that brought the billions. But the issue is that many believers, we are finished product believers. We do not like to know the process. How did it become like this? The disciples came to Jesus and said, teach us how to pray, because we have understood that the reason why your results are different from our results is because there's a how only you knows. It's true. When Jesus stands before any case, it bows to his words. But the disciples will struggle and struggle. Nothing will change. Now, these men were praying before. They had been praying for years. Why are they saying teach us how to pray? Because they have discovered that his prayer style is working. I mean, these are prayer men. These are guys who have prayed, but they discovered it is useless to waste time on activity that does not bring productivity. The beauty of prayer is answers. Where there's no answer, prayer is vain vocal expression. Teach us how to pray. Not give us a prayer point because we have enough. You didn't get me down. It didn't say give us a prayer point. We have enough prayer points. But what strategies do you put in place that makes you to have results from your prayers? There is a how. Listen. When you see great men, ask them how. Don't ask them why. Why is God blessing me but not blessing me? That's accusation. How does God bless you? What did you put in place? See, I beg you, not every young man who was hated by his community emerged a success. Not everyone who was hated by society became great. Why can't you answer me now? What about the truck pusher who died some days ago? What about the market seller who all she could achieve was a carabout house and she got burnt in her own house? What about the young guy who was stalling the market, selling every day, and the car hit him and he died? There are people whose struggles did not see the light of day. There are people whose suffering did not yield results. So when you see a man who came out of the lion's den and came out alive, ask him how. See, for the king to say the penalty of not bowing his fire is because the fire has been proven authentic and valid before. But there were 3 Hebrew boys who were able to, by a level of intimacy with God, sustain a resistance against fire. How did they enter fire and not even smell smoke? How? I'm saying to you, there is no guarantee that because you are suffering today, you have money tomorrow. Until you know a how. So the purpose of this series is to teach us how. How did these men become? Teach us how to pray. Why? We know many prayer points. They are not working. You see, Gehazi knew the mantle, never knew the how. Elisha sent him Makania Fundi Bagandika. He said, go and pray and raise that child. 2 Kings 4. He went there to pray for the child. The child didn't come back to life. He had the mantle. He had the prayer points. He had the answer. But when you cannot properly apply, you are the same like who did not have. And the guy takes the mantle and goes there and prays. The child doesn't come back to life. And when the mentor comes, what does he do? The same mantle, prays, nothing happens. What does he do again? He stretches on the child. That is the how that activates the mantle. There is no guarantee that because you are singing today and serving God faithfully, tomorrow you'll be announced. Haven't you seen singers who are now 80 and nobody knows them? and we never know them. Maybe God had put in her life that through comedy she become rich, and she found out at 82. And so she had to die at 83. And she discovered her assignment at 82. So while she was about to start shining, the light was dimming. I was saying, Father, you have blessed my spiritual father because he has suffered. I said, what do you mean by that? He's not the first to suffer. Yes, he has suffered. Have you not suffered? As I've suffered, sir. There are pastors that suffered and died. It's true. God will only work with people that have gotten keys. Man, you'll be praying for breakthrough when you lack key. Because I only break through this door in the absence of the key. And when you break the door, don't forget, a thief can enter. But when you open the door, you can close it. It's to give you keys. You can open and close. So God's system is that a man should not destroy, but open and close. We rule in the kingdom by the keys we have found. I found my servant David, who has found my heart. David found God's heart. God found him. He caught a key and the Lord was looking for him. I want to ask you tonight, do you admire the ebullience, the splendor of David? Do you admire how glorious Solomon was, or the how? What did he do? What did a 20-year-old boy do? See, the regret we will have in eternity is the fact that we do not know our times and seasons, therefore we do not align ourselves to them. One of the things we have as regret is that some people were thinking that God destined us to be poor. I told you, and you echoed it in that program, God did not fashion priests to be poor. The priests had the best dresses. So if I'm saying tonight that there are people that suffer like David and do not become great, let us find out the keys that David caught. Okay, do you know there are many children who were like David? He cannot be the only one. What happened to them? Suicide. What will make one youth kill himself and the other youth become great with the same condition? What? What did this other youth find out that the other youth did not find out? What does this youth know that this other youth does not know? It's true. Both of us will see one man's nakedness. Ask Ham, Shem, and Japheth. 3 people saw one man's nakedness. 2 of them decided to look for a blanket and walk backward and cover. One decided to see it and play and expose it. The choices you made out of what life brought to you determine the results of your life. With the rejection, take it to the place of depression or to the place of retreating. With the rejection, take it to the place of silence or the place of resilience. Is your father's hatred forming a man of war in you or a woman of worry? Many hurt people today are hurt because somebody didn't treat them good. And many hard people, resilient people are resilient today because somebody didn't treat them good. Because the same water that hardens the egg softens the potato. That's how life is. That's how life is. They will rape one girl. She will take the rape as a reason to defend young girls and to teach men not to do that. Another one will use the rape as a reason to hate men forever. I say a woman, I have the videos, I was sending to the church group. A woman her son was killed by a young man. And in the house, in the court, she said, I love you. God loves you. I want to love you as I love my son. She said, I will adopt this one. She said, Muslim, not a Christian. One person's son was killed, and she took it as a chance to get hurt and kill others. Another person took it as a chance to heal the one that killed. Child of God, you can either take that thing to make you a devil or to make you an angel. It's either making you strong or making you weak. What are you doing with the battles that were presented for you?